have your style. Never get rid of that. Just add on to the land that you have. The land is your youth. That means you got time. You know, it's like having a house with 10 acres. You might want to add on to that house. You might want to put a garage here, garage here. Why? Because you got the land. You have the future. You are the future. You have time to add other styles and other knowledge to what you already have as a foundation. And then when you get in the ring with somebody just happen to be a little bit more better of a boxer than you, then you know how to adjust to beat him at his game. Then the other game is, okay, you want to buckle down and let's see who got the guns. You have that style. So they can never prepare to fight a boxer. They can never prepare to fight a slugger. They can never prepare to fight a counterpuncher. They can never prepare to fight whoever style they think they're seeing, because they look at you and say, man, he does everything. So you got to get sparring partners that can do everything that you do. And it's very hard to find because people don't treat the teachers of the game don't teach their fighters multitask, multi-styles, multi-ways of executing. They don't teach them that. They teach them go out, knock somebody out, everybody loves it. UFC, MMA. But what happened when that guy don't fall and you undefeated? Now you questioning yourself. Wait a minute, I hit everybody else with that shot and I hit him, he ain't go nowhere. Now where your confidence go? And you got 8 more rounds to go. That's when the tricks come out the bag. The left hook from down here. They think the hand is down. The hand is down because you want them to think it's down because it's out of his radar. As soon as he come in, it's coming up the top, it's coming underneath. You never see it.
Thank you, man.
That's knowledge.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all once again.
Okay, get some rest, man. Got some feet. I'll see you at the weigh-in.
Bernard, we've been here several times in Atlantic City. Obviously, the last time you were here, you didn't come up a winner, but
Get Nazim, y'all.
Simon Brown, Kelly Pavlik, William Joppy.
Y'all can sit over there. Y'all sitting back there. Y'all can sit at that table. Yo, y'all can sit at that table right there, man. Why sit right there?
Simon Brown, Antonio Tarver, William Joppy, Kelly Pavlik. What is it about Atlantic City where you get beat downs?
Well, Atlantic City, I want to get a hair cold with you, but Atlantic City to me is a reflection. Every time I'm in Atlantic City, whether I'm fighting or watching someone else fight, it's a reflection of where I've come from. My last fight, well, not my last, but my first fight was at the Resort Casino. So it's always, when I'm here, whether I'm, a part of the card or promoting it with Golden Boy, it's always a reflection of how far I came and how far I must go. So when you come to these places, if you're still conscious of how you got here, and you're still humble enough, but conscious of how you got here, any human being will reflect on where they was at. It's like going in your own neighborhood. It's like going to your own high school, your own elementary school, and you're in your 40s and your 50s, which I often do, up in Germantown, Charles W. Henry. And sometimes I sit there at the coffee shop right across the street where we used to go, and it used to be a store where you get your steaks, your hoagies, and things like that when you're a teenager. And I reflect. And you sit back and say, wow, I've actually made it, I'm alive. And then second, if you had a background that wasn't too positive, it's a bigger affliction on top of the success. So coming to Atlantic City brings all those things that's extremely controlled by my emotions to understand that I'm blessed in so many ways to be back here, healthy, with a legacy, and doing historic things.
Even when you came up short, Dawson, after his fight with you here, said he felt like he was in a war. I think he had more marks on his face than you did. Of course, we remember.
Chad said that to you?
No, he said it in the post conference.
Yeah, he said that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then William Joppy, of course, we know what happened to his face.
Well, most people
when you fight here, though, it seems like you really give some beat downs.
Well, I mean, you really want to defend your territory. even though I live in Philadelphia and also have a respectful ship in Delaware since '98. But Philly is where people tie me to, and that is what it is. I'll never try to deny that, and have no reason to. But yeah, I am motivated by being in a place where basically begun for me. So yeah, it's some extra energy. It's some extra incentive to give serious beatdowns. But a lot of guys that I fought, whether it was here or anywhere, that somehow they got the win, by decision. They really knew that they paid a bigger price for the win, whether they deserved the win or not. And a lot of them, for the game we play, is not here to be able to enjoy those wins. I mean, they are here living. They're here, amongst us as far as breathing. But at the same time, their career haven't took off because of one or two particular fights with me. So I look at it like, how profound it is to be in a situation where guys is 20 years younger than me, and they're no longer boxing anymore, that could have easily been Hall of Famers by right now, or at least a shoe-in or a conversation of being in a Hall of Famer. I'm not throwing dirt on anybody like that, but I just want to mention a few names. You think Kelly Patrick is going to be in the Hall of Fame? You think he gets in the Hall?
No.
Jermaine Teller?
No.
These guys are guys that could have been, and I can name a few other fighters that maybe one or two more that could have maybe, had at least a vote. It ain't because they weren't good enough. They just ran into, at that time, the guy named was the Executioner.
What do you do to them psychologically?
I don't think I do anything psychological to them as far as what I say. I think it's what I do to them is psychological. I think physical psychological is more devastating long-term more than verbal. Verbal is a start, but physically, if somebody had a choice whether they want to get abused psychologically, would they rather take the physical or the verbal? Of course, you got any sense, you would want to, you can talk all you want. But I think it's more of the physical for me, but it was what they was led to believe by the media. I said something that's all over just about main boxing websites that covered or even heard the soundbite from yesterday. I said, quote, "Calling me old is getting old." And they ran with it. Google it. Just go in and, getting old is y'all, the constituents don't even hear it getting old until they actually see Bernard Hopkins get old and actually lose. So when I just came off the rhythm. It just came out of my soul. Of course, I don't read anything. I don't read off anything when I give my long-term rants or speeches. But I just said, getting old, because it's getting old to me, and I'm continue to not defend, but calling me old is getting old.
That's the first thing he said. First thing that came out of Cairo's mouth was that you're getting old, and that you clench, and that you have a gray hair and a gray beard, which I've never seen you with either one of those.
Yeah. But all these things I don't deny. See, I'm not a person that can deny the course and the process of nature. A flower grows and a flower dies, and come back for the next season. But when he says things like that, it goes to tell you that he's dealing with a guy and he's preparing for a guy because he's his age, and he's hoping, like others have hoped, Cloud, Jean Pascal, the last 3 or 4 years, he's hoping that he's lucky enough where you get old. Well, you don't get old the night of the fight. You get old in the gym. You get old before that. There's no magic old spell that hits you over the head and say you're old. there's a process. Now, once you realize that in camp, that the sparring partners got the better to work every day. And if you trust the person that has your better eyes and your better situation to say, you know, make this be the last one, but we're going to try to fix things to make things a little different than what I've been seeing. That's honesty and trust amongst those two people. Nobody gets, it's a nice, cute, nice thing to say as a soundbite. You get old overnight, and we use it for many years. I've used it. Nobody gets overnight old. It's a process of getting old. And it starts in the gym. And the gym is where you get old. The problem is, if I'm getting a check from you, I'm not going to tell you that. How many people tell a fighter, look, we got a fight coming up, but you getting old. I don't think you should take this fight, and there's $2 million on the line. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad person that didn't say don't fight. I'm just saying that that's a really tough situation. So, old, as far as I'm concerned, old to me is not the same old to the average person. You know, whether you, me, myself, or Nazim, or anybody else at this table, what is old? What is old? In today's world, 2014, with all of the tips of how to eat and take care of yourself, which I really don't need, because you've been reporting me over 10 years. There's nothing new to the way Bernard Hopkins live. I don't, 18, you see me at other fights, 18, and I'm promoting with my suits on. 18 years you've been knowing me. I've never had a belly. No one ever seen me. The biggest story would be I have a belly. Y'all see me walking here after this fight, and I'm at a Golden Boy show, and like, damn, Bernard put on weight. Y'all seen fighters, y'all said that. Everybody at this table looked at a fighter from the past and the future, stop boxing, or in between fighters, said, man, he got a, how much you weighing now? Y'all never had to ask me that. Now, whether you like me or disagree with me or like my style or not, one thing you say, which you probably were saying, I'm not putting words in my mind, man, I wish I could be like that when I'm 40. I mean, I actually put pressure on guys that's married and have girlfriends or got girlfriends, and they like, yo, why don't you look like that at 40, 50? I literally had, not, you know, seriously, I literally had couples tell their husbands or their other half, right? He's in great shape. And you know how guys is, we is, and yo, you gonna bust a vein, dog. You holding, trying to, what are you doing? Like, yo, your stomach was out, and all of a sudden, I put a lot of pressure on dudes, and I understand some envy and some jealousy, and I understand because not all, but some, no matter what color they are lazy, and I'm not, and they try to make an excuse, well, maybe he doing something, or maybe he taking this magic pill, or maybe he doing it. No, go back to 18 years when this brother here was talking about, before they even start talking about enhancing drugs. Go back when he was writing and saying, I'm a freak of nature, that this dude is a throwback. He take care of his body. You know, go back to the articles of other writers, not just him. I know, he ain't on my payroll, but I'm just telling you is that I'm only getting the interest of my good investment that I make all the time in my personal life. I say all the time I make it, not sometimes. I'd rather get 3% of my money than 9% of risk. Call me stupid. Call me stupid. But that's the way I think.
Before the last fight, Nazim had me and another guy outside of the hotel in Brooklyn telling us that you smelled blood in the water. You were like a shark.
Yeah.
And then obviously that manifested itself against the Boris Cloud. Do you have that same kind of motivation for this particular fight?
I have to.
What about him, or is it him in particular, or just?
No, it's obviously it's part of him because that's the guy I physically got to go ahead and do my business. But like always in my career, not sometimes, always, and it's going to be that. I'm to the point right now, not just particular fight, but way before this fight, I'm at a point in my life, in my career, for 90% of my career, that's going back in the 90s, because the other 10% I was just as ignorant, didn't know, and I had to learn the business quick. I'm not just fighting Murad Hakar, Murad. I'm fighting politics. I'm fighting the same politics that I'm fighting or was fighting back then. I made what they call a 360-degree, a circle, a turn, because I'm back in Atlantic City, been back here a few times in the middle of the 1988 first debut. But the politics that I'm fighting along with Karl Marak is, you know, you hear Hopkins and Mayweather. You hear possibly Hopkins fighting the two light heavyweights, which is a Cold War going on. What are you talking about? I mean, I'm caught between the Cold War. My people gotta look out for me. That is Golden Boy, Richard Schaefer, Espinosa, and if I'm on Showtime and not on HBO, then they gotta step up. So the politics, to answer your questions, is attached to why I have to look at Karl Marak as any other tough guy or any person, because he inherit what I have to be motivated to defeat him, that there's politics that he is wrapped up into where I have to be successful and detach him from being in #1 spot as a contender.
So he embodies everything?
Yes, and that's why that fight to me is so important and dangerous, because there's outside dressings on the turkey that will be defeated come Saturday night also. Because I know this. I'm in the game, been in the game. So I've been fighting the politics, whether they on my side, in my social, in my circle, my group, or whatever. I've been fighting the politics because I'm my own man. So when you fight the politics, that means you beat people you ain't supposed to beat. That means you don't retire when they thought maybe you're supposed to retire. See, people want to put a time frame on when you're supposed to be done, whatever you do, when he's supposed to be done. We're humans, right? This is what we do. I mean, I've been guilty of it. You've been guilty of it. We want to estimate, or we want to determine fate of another one, whether it's good taste or bad taste, because that's something that we got in our DNA, because we are humans, in some way. You know, I'm an alien, but I'm here. No, but I'm here. So my thing is what? And there are politics, you don't even know who you're fighting, but you know they out there. Everybody that might not be for you is not going to actually tell you, and especially Bernard Hopkins in my face, I'm not for you and I'm going to do everything to stop you. Who tells people that? We're sneaky. We're devious. We're cutthroats. We're this. So we'll do things because I can't tell him that in his face. So you have to be prepared as Sun Tzu of the Art of War. Like basically everybody is suspect until they prove that they're not the other way around. And when you do that, you eliminate and you save yourself from being heartbroken. You save yourself from being disappointed. You understand? Later on, you save yourself from being disappointed. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a friend, whether it's a buddy, whether it's that, man, we've been buddies, man. I mean, everybody at this table experienced like, yo, man, you was my dog, man. You did that to me. So we all have those life experiences where if I'm just rambling off talking to that you never experienced that before, then God bless you. If you never experienced a double cross before in your life and you're over 30, right? I give you that. If you're over 30, you never experienced none of that on any scale, then God bless you. Hope you never will, because it damn sure hurts.
Bernard, you mentioned
Go ahead.
the 88 fight here.
Yes, with Clinton Mitchell.
Yeah, what do you remember of that? Obviously, you were.
I remember everything. I remember I lost.
And like, what was it like heading into like?
It was a 4-round fight.
Light heavyweight, right?
Light heavyweight, the fight weight that I'm fighting at now, and I was 0-0. I was fighting the Olympic. Golden Glove, all nationals. Clinton Mitchell, outstanding amateur record. I was 0-0 again, and he was fighting a guy who was 5-0. He was promoted by, I believe, Top Rank. I believe the matchmaker was, I got the name right on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, Ryan Katz. Yep, Ryan Katz. So, and Ryan always teased me, he said, Bernard, I'm the only one that beat you twice. Because they had Roy Jones, because at that time he was with Top Rank. Roy was being, so and that Riddick Bowe and Jesse Ferguson undercard in DC. Yeah. So Ryan always teased me with that. I was like, yeah, get out of here, Ryan. But he's right. It was Clinton Mitchell, and it was it was Clinton Mitchell, 1988, here at the resort, and that was that was 18 months after being released and graded for. So I wanted to get right on track when I came out, because that was my goal, and that's what I talked about a year before I was released after the 5-year sentence. And my thing was, I'm gonna go out, I'm a charm pro, I ain't gonna have a chance to really marinate in the city and get off track and just basically, don't fight eventually, get caught up real quick. So I wanted to come out and get right into what I've been doing in there. You understand what I'm saying? My mind is positive. I'm coming home, I'm fresh, and I'm like, yeah, before your friends grab you, and before you get sucked back, because I'm at the same house on Sharpneck Street, which we still own. Mother's dead, but father's dead, but we still.
My great-grandmother owned a house on Sharpneck.
You up Germantown?
Yeah, that's pretty. My family's from Germantown.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm on the west side, 47.
My cousin's house was just there not too long. He passed away recently, but yeah.
Probably knew my family.
He said he knew you, yeah.
Yeah, see me, but small world, and I didn't know you knew. But anyway, we still own.
Fight it back in the day,
we still own a house, and that's why I said earlier. Henry School, Carpenter Lane. I went to Henry. I got a 3rd grade teacher, Mr. Villarreal, who still comes to my fight. He was my Latin teacher, 3rd grade, and taught a book about me. And he probably will be in it and probably have a segue in the movie. But these are the things where I still go up Germantown. I take my friends, Carl from Delaware behind you. I took him up Germantown, let him meet my old heads on Weaver Street and things. And they would say, man, Bernard was knocking people out on the avenue. He told them. And we was like, yo, who has a video camera? Like, this is the stuff where you randomly get out of the neighborhood and just get honest, no agenda, no boxing corporate BS. You just get raw people that say they remember me before I became who I became and tell you some stories that might not be in my favor. Hey, please tell it. You're gonna hear some nasty stuff because I was that guy. I was just determined and just focused, being the other side of that thinking, the opposite of how I think now. Just imagine how vicious I would have been and how dangerous to society if I'd have been the way I think, as disciplined as I was in that field here. Just reverse me and put me back in that area being so disciplined because I was just as disciplined there, here.
Was you the executioner as well?
No.
Hell, put that on.
I was the guy that they say, here come heads. Here come heads coming up. And I didn't have a prevalence of a guy that can't defend himself. Every now and he got caught up in the web. But I was getting the guys that couldn't go down and say, Bernard robbed me for $20,000 or $10,000 or took my chain, my shoes, and stripped me down naked. And the cop would say, well, where do you get this money to get robbed from? So I was getting in a situation where I was getting guys that I know you can't tell. Only thing I got to do is worry about my life being taken by the same guy who might know this guy, might know that guy. To me, my life wasn't even that valuable. And I didn't think about, I'm back on this avenue or down Haines Street or True Avenue, and a coward can kill you. So here, I didn't even really value my life at that point. Is where I'm gonna get what I'm getting. But the street sale, that's hard, that's foolish. See, we take foolish behavior and say that's having heart. We in the ghetto is we the opposite of no, that's a fool. This man can come back with a gun and you still here on this corner. And there's people that my brother Michael behind me, 7 of us, Michael Derrick Hopkins, he got killed. That year I went away, same behavior. Why it could have been reversed. So I believe that there is intuition. There is a situation they call things happen for a reason. Yes, we're in control to a point, But just think about every now and then the things you know that you ain't have control of and you still made it out okay.
I have no question.
They the things that you can't get blinded by. That's the
Bernard.
vicious thing.
How much did you make for the Mitchell fight? I'm just curious.
$400, and I took home about $200 because I did $50 to the cut man and whatever that I gave the trainers.
Was it a close fight? Or did he,
No, he beat me. He did 4 rounds.
is that why you took that much time off after that to learn the craft? And
I ain't take that. That's another story. That's another story in the movie. It was,
okay.
My
but
question to you
I tell you what. Before I went back to Grade 4, right? Before I went back to Grade 4, just in the nick of time, right? Not a second, not a minute, right? I got back to what I had to do because I didn't see a good outcome. And so I leave it like that with you, is that it was a time from 89, it's a great question you asked, you're paying attention. From 89 to 90, you look at my record and you'll say, he's been inactive for 19, 18 months in the worst time in Black America in the country. If you go back to 89 and 90, every city in America can tell you what was jumping around that time. That was the most vicious time in America. And most of the kids now are in their late 20s and 30s, and they the ones killing each other because they got crack in their system.
Yep.
And they got other system because the tree was polluted. The tree is the family. The tree is the mother, the father. And so what you get now is the offspring. And the offspring is only going to be what the tree is. It's just like having a dictator of any history of any country. If you have a dictator and he wants to have many kids as possible, because once he die or get killed or wherever it is, the children becomes him. And so if you don't get rid of them, you're going to have a problem.
Bernard.
Were you ever involved in that? Or?
I'm 35.
Okay.
No, but
As a
like I
little
just
boy.
said, that struggle, eventually I was robbing them. I was taking their money. So I guess I was involved. I didn't have the patience to sit out there and panhandle. Because my whole thing is I ain't had patience. I wanted, why would I have patience nickel and diamond and you gonna get $50,000 if I just wait a week for you to get it? So you can even say I was a smart businessman, even ignorant. Because I'd rather for you to stand out there and risk yourself being locked up, shot, robbed, or whatever, because you know, a hustler got so many enemies. Why not just let you go do what you gotta do and keep an eye on you every now and then? I just come rob you.
So that's what was going on between.
Who are you gonna tell? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my whole thing was, wait a minute. I ran into somebody that said they knew a trainer that can fight, that had fight, excuse me, that sort of retired, and that was Bowie Fisher. And I started saying to myself, okay, all right, I'm at a restaurant with a girlfriend, and I'm sitting down and eating. I ran into a guy. I know the guy. The guy name is Ronnie Graham, then Rob Murray, who just passed. You know Rob Murray.
Yeah.
And they formed a company called the Rising Boxing. I was under that for a while. Fareed Ahmed, a.k.a. Gene Hearns, Robert Murray, all the guys he know. And they formed the boxing management out of Philadelphia. I was one of the guys, and then there was another guy named Will Teller who's deceased now.
Yeah.
So light heavyweight that fought for the title.
Right.
They did a big story out because we both locked up together. It's been a great story. He fought 2 times for the championship. He trained in Atlantic City. Stretch, they call him.
Yeah, I remember.
But he got on crack and he died. Same age as me. Just smoked himself in the last 8 years and he just eventually passed. But these are the stories that that's inspiration, and it show you the struggle and the will of a human being, no matter who they are, because everybody has a story. The guy on the corner that's sleeping right now, before we judge him, he has a story. Whether you believe that story, whether it's fabricated, it's a story why he's there. The story is he's there. And then let him tell it, or she. So, but I think my story's a little different. One is because it became a successful story. And there's a lot of stories that's not successful at the end. Hollywood can do many stories on a whole lot of hardships of urban America, right? But how many urban American stories where you can say that they ended up totally like mine? Not only just from the success of what I do in the ring, but how I think business-wise. How I stood fast on my discipline that I've really learned in there and transformed that in this sport and play of entertainment, of life, of world, where you can easily get sidetracked by all the tricklings that goes in our face, even if you're the cameraman at the fight and you're not that popular. But even you have adversity on certain levels. So you can imagine what I got coming at me. How do you fight these gins off you? How do you fight this and still concentrate on keeping your weight where it is? And you weighing tomorrow, you look like you're drying out to me, Bernard. You're doing more talking than us. Half of the people don't understand because they are lazy in whatever they don't understand, so they blame me. Okay, I'm the poster boy for that. Whatever laziness you got in your body, not just physically, whatever laziness that you have in your soul about whatever it is, whether it's researching, because you're too lazy to do it, whether it's exercising, because you're too, that's on you. But don't look at me, whether you're a fighter or non-fighter, and look at me and say my body is not like yours and you 10 years younger or 5 years younger or 4 years older. Be inspired. I'm not begging and pleading for somebody to accept me. What I'm saying is, it's time for me now to say, okay, let's pull the covers off. Let's call these dudes out. Either you're jealous or you envy, or you're just lazy. These 2 to 3 is not really good, but I'll take the laziness before I admit that I'm jealous or envy, because you know what? You in a sport, man, where your reflexes has to be at least up to par. They're not like it was when you was 25 or 35, then no, dude, you fighting guns, man. You ain't fighting no, y'all wouldn't be here. I could have stopped this 5 minutes ago and went back upstairs. And I'm gonna do a little jump rope and hit the pad because I'm bored in the room right now. But I'm saying is that some will get tired of hearing me, but the young ones that's boxers or non-fighters, they never get tired of hearing B-Hop, the alien, the executioner. You can call me whatever you want to call me, as long as it's respectful.
Bernard, one quick question about the fight. He's fought mostly B, C-level opposition and being tucked away in Germany. How important is it for you early to make him know he's in there with a legend?
I tell you, I want to, truthfully, I've been on a drought. And again, this might be this might be. I'm glad you got me back on track. This might be a sign of my declining. I haven't had a knockout since 2004 that I was reminded at the press conference, and that was with my now partner Oscar De La Hoya. And time fly. I haven't really I try to sneak 3 more years up and say 2007. The guy said, oh, no, Bernard, it was 04. I said, you son of a, I'll get you later. I haven't had a knockout. I told Kid Chocolate, I don't want to go 12 rounds just because. You think I want to prove I'm going to go 12 rounds and get paid the same? So I'm craving for a knockout. Now, am I expecting to have front page of all y'all headlines? No. And I'm not expecting that. It's not taking nothing away from my performance. What I'm saying, y'all here for me. Y'all here for Kid Chocolate. That's the main event, y'all. Not taking nothing away from me. Y'all might be, kind of surprised I said that because I'm Bernard Hopkins. No, my ego, other guys got big egos. They would never say that. Right? And you figure out who that is. I'm going to tell you, that fight, the one y'all is going to be glued to. My fight is another page to my legacy that you should watch and should be engaged to see what happens, because that old thing that people think that's a spirit or some cloud that we've been taught and said over the years. Is this the night? That's my promotion. That's why I want people to come. It makes it even more hyper when you have another guy that you all know that maybe this is the night. If this ain't the night, then Bernard got a tough fight with this guy. We want that. We want the Donna Stevenson. We want the Kloverloff. Let's get to that now. We want this person. Listen, If it's someone else that wants to do something at 160, it was brought to me. I didn't bring it to them. You know, I don't look like a bully. But hey, great fighters that moved up 2 weight classes. I was one of them. I went up from 60 to fight Tarver. Henry Armstrong did it 4 or 5 times. Why y'all spoiling this dude that they give him $40, $50 million to fight for, and y'all know ain't nobody gonna beat him in their 20s and their 30s? Who gonna beat him? Bringing the checkerboard, and he's playing chess. So y'all can try to listen. God bless you. You can put a spin hat and try to make that something out of you one after that Canelo fight. Then God bless you. I mean, you know, people all, you know, they drink from a cup what you give them to them, most of them. But I like to give them a lot more credit to think they're a little smarter than that. To say that, wait a minute, like ain't none of these dudes gonna beat this dude. Why should I spend my hard money? And I got 2 kids, and I gotta feed them, and I gotta take $90 out of my check and pay something that ain't gonna be nothing but a sparring match? Nah.
So you want to know?
So my whole thing is to get a situation. Oh, definitely. I need a stoppage. I need a stoppage of any form. Hey, I'll take if he somehow toenail and he can't come out. I mean, since 04, y'all. I mean, come on. I'm telling y'all right now, that's some serious stuff. You might not even have thought about it. This is 12, man. I mean, this is 13 going on 14. This is a long drought.
Yeah, but
you've been fighting with competition.
the way you handle guys like Tarver.
They wish they got knocked out.
Those dudes, I mean, those
I
performances.
punished them, but I punished them.
Yeah, but those performances, those are
I got what
those
you're
are
saying.
knockouts.
I got what
those
you're
are
saying.
mental knockouts.
I got what
You
you're
know
saying.
I mean?
I got what you're saying.
But this is the guy, this is the kind of guy, and this is the atmosphere, given what you've done here in the past, where me knowing your history, I was telling him, I said, by the 3rd or 4th round, I expect this guy's whole body to be red.
It will be. It will be. And it will be a body attack that will stop this fight. I believe he can take anything from the neck up. I've seen him. He's an MMA, he's an martial arts fighter. He can take punishment, you don't mind that. Though his style is there. He's not the super fast guy. He tries to use his limitations of the best way he can. But I also know that I'm going to come in as sharp as a razor. And I'm going to go ahead and dominate it the way it's supposed to be on the way it is on paper. Listen, I can't fool none of nobody, and I haven't tried to fool nobody. The fight is what it is. Y'all coming to see me. You coming to see me. Now,